teaching assistant for commercial real estate finance at the University of Central Florida. In this exercise, it's a two-part exercise. We're asked to calculate the total rent per year for an office building for a particular tenant. And then we also asked to calculate the CAM, the recovery amount, as well as the unrecovered amount for an office building. We're going to start with the first part of the problem. We're given some inputs. I was asked that you take a minute to pause the video to enter all of the inputs that have been given to you. In this exercise, we were given the total usable space, which is 62,000 square feet, the total common area, which is 4,100 square feet. You're going to calculate the total rentable area. You're also given the usable area for tenant A, as well as the rental rate for tenant A. We're going to calculate the pro rata share of the usable space, as well as tenant A rentable area. And then lastly, we're going to calculate the rent per year, the total rent per year. To begin, we're going to simply calculate the total rentable area, which is simply the sum of the total usable and the common area. You should get 66,100 square feet. And to calculate the pro rata share, I've made some notes here to go along for you. The formula for calculating the pro rata share is the tenant usable divided by the total usable. The tenant usable divided by the total usable. And that is going to be the tenant usable divided by the total usable. And that should give you 6.85%. And to calculate the tenant A rentable area, some notes I left here for you is going to be the tenant usable plus the pro rata share times the total common area. So it's going to be the tenant usable plus the pro rata share times the total common area. You have 4,531. And I left the formula here to calculate the total rent per year, which is simply the tenant rentable area times the tenant A rentable area times the square footage rental rate per square feet, which will give you $90,621 per year for this tenant. We're going to move on to the second part of the problem. We're given these expenses here: janitorial, insurance, maintenance, property taxes, landscaping. And to calculate the total expenses is simply going to be the sum of all of the expenses. And that's quite simple. So we have $95,650 for the expenses for one period for this building. The total rental area is also the sum of all of the rental area for this office building, including the deli, which should have 17,925 square feet. Now, the total CAM is going to be the total expense divided by the total area. Now, this is going to be very important. This number right here is going to be very important because we're going to use it to calculate the recovery amount. So I've highlighted in orange so we can remember to use that in calculating the recovery amount. I left the formula here, but I'll slow down as I go along calculating the recovery amount. It's simply an if statement. We're going to say if this number, the CAM recovery for this tenant is less than the total CAM, we're saying that you multiply the CAM for that tenant times the area for that tenant. If not, we're going to use the same total times the area. And the interesting thing here is we have to lock in or anchor cell F21. And if we do that, we should be able to drag that formula to the other offices to calculate the recovery amount for those spaces. By doing so, we can now drag the formula to the other spaces to calculate their recovery amount. And the total is going to be the sum of all of the recovery amounts, including the belly for that space. We should have $49,050. And then to calculate the unrecovered amount is going to be the total expense for that building minus the recovery amount, which will give you the unrecovered amount. You should get $46,600 as unrecovered amount. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Web Courses, and hope this was helpful. Until next time, thank you.